What's going on, Vol Nation? Welcome into Tennessee Football Talk. And I'll tell you something, I was all prepared to talk Adidas football, okay? We had a great show planned out, pretty much all about that. Now, we're still going to dive into it. But what got me off that trail was this major report that Pete Nakos of On3 dropped on us today about the Vols quarterback situation. The insider weighs in, and of course, I've got to tell y'all about everything he said because he gave a pretty specific name of who he feels and who he believes is trending to be the starter for Tennessee. That's what we're talking about first on today's show. And then second up, we're talking Tennessee officially going with Adidas for the 2027 season and 10 years after that. And then we're going to wrap this thing up with some more mama drama with Boo Carter. It's getting crazy, it's getting ridiculous, and we got to talk about it on the show. Before we get into any of that, though, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. I got fantastic news. Vol Nation absolutely brought it yesterday. We are now in the lead of our week-long sub-battle with the Alabama Football Report. The good thing is, though, it is not over, okay? It's going on for the rest of this week. Let's use today to absolutely bury them, okay? If you hate the Crimson Tide, if you love the Vols, and if you love free daily content on Tennessee football, this is the place for you. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. So from Pete Nakos, again, a guy who's been with On3 for 4 years. He's one of the best college football insiders. He had the scoop on Nico before anybody else had the scoop on Nico. He released an article that said Joey Aguilar is trending to be the starter. The Volunteers, Pete says, have given Joey Aguilar and Jake Merklinger reps with first team for most of fall camp. But it was George McIntyre who impressed at last weekend's scrimmage. The odds of the true freshman, talking McIntyre, earning the starting spot nod is low. At this point, it is Aguilar who is trending to earn the starting nod for Tennessee in week 1 against Syracuse. And it feels like at this point, right, we're getting tidbits, we're getting these reports from these college football insiders, guys who know guys within the program. It feels like all we're waiting on at this point is for Josh Heupel to make this thing official. That's like really all we need at this point. Everything else that we've heard, everything else that we've read, everything else that we've seen is all pointing towards Joey Aguilar being the starting quarterback. It's just going to take Josh Heupel stepping up to that podium post-practice press conference and making it officially official, okay? We knew that this most likely was going to be what ended up happening for Tennessee. We knew once Joey came in and was battling with Jake Merklinger and George McIntyre that he was probably going to be the guy, okay? And it's not necessarily because his arm talent is that much better. It's not necessarily because he's that much better of an athlete. It really just boils down to experience, in my opinion. And experience is truly what separates him in this quarterback battle. We've seen this graphic before, but it just shows how vast the difference is between him and the other two guys in terms of experience. 41 collegiate games played for Aguilar, 2 for Merklinger, 0 for George McIntyre, okay? He trumps them in that category. And I believe that Josh Heupel wants the quarterback who he feels like can run this offense the best, can run it most efficiently. Because if you think about this offense, a lot of it is post-snap, wide receiver choice routes, where the quarterback's got to digest everything. He's got to see coverage. He's got to see which route his wide receiver is more likely going to choose after the play gets started. So there's a lot that's going on. There's a lot happening. There's a lot of information to take in from the snap of the ball to the time he lets go of the football. And for a guy who's played 41 games in college, that's just going to be a little bit easier. Now, it doesn't mean he's going to start every game. It doesn't mean that these guys don't have a shot to win that job back from him. And it doesn't mean it's 100% official as of right now. But from what we heard from this college football insider, from Pete Nakos with On3, is that Joey Aguilar is trending to be the starter. Make sure you guys got me followed on X, okay? Because I tweeted about it there first, probably about 30, 40 minutes ago, okay, before we started getting this show going. So make sure you got me at Joey Peterson8. Currently, I'm sitting at 960 followers. My goal is to get to 1,000. So I need 40 Vol fans to hit me up on Twitter, give me a follow. First 5 to do it, I will follow you back. You can find my Twitter, a link to that, in the comments and description of today's video. So UT football, the thing that everybody's been talking about, the thing that every single person in this office has asked me about, is the Vols officially signing with Adidas. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I've got some mixed emotions about it. There's some good, there's some bad. It's kind of been like a roller coaster. You remember the movie Anchorman when he says, I'm trapped in a glass case of emotion? That's kind of how I felt today. The good, one of them, guys, UT's getting a bag from Adidas. I'm talking like $20 million a year back. It's also going to help with recruiting, right? The NIL side of things. The bad part, and maybe this is just because I'm 25 years old, Adidas doesn't have aura to me. Like, not like Nike. And I get that. You could say, Joey, that doesn't matter. Aura doesn't help you in football games. And I would say you're correct. But aura helps you land recruits. That helps you win football games. So checkmate. But the good that we're ultimately going to wrap this up with is, it makes it feel a little bit like 98, right? The last national champion to wear the stripes, to be Adidas, was your Tennessee Volunteers. So if that's the result, I don't care if they're wearing Adidas. I don't care if they're wearing Russell. I don't care if they're wearing Starter. I don't care if they're wearing Fruit of the Loom. If it ends in a national championship, sign me up, okay? The cool thing is the vice president of sports marketing for Adidas spoke. And he spoke about what this could mean for Tennessee. We have an affiliate program where all student athletes can participate and essentially become an NIL athlete for Adidas. We're going to continue to roll out other programming around NIL to make sure we are doing our part to help attract some of the top recruits across all sports for the university. And this is a really cool part to me, okay? And this is where I think it's a massive advantage for Tennessee to go with Adidas. Because we know that Tennessee is going to be Adidas' #1 client. Before this, it was probably A&M. I don't think it's A&M anymore. I think it's the Vols. And now with the new rules passed with NIL, where every single team will have some sort of salary cap, basically, you're only allowed to pay players X amount of money for your entire roster. A lot of people think, well, Joey, if they're giving you $20 million a year, you can't necessarily put that towards NIL, and you're not wrong. But what you can do is use Adidas, like Chris was just saying, to have these recruits be signed to be Adidas partners. And then they can make a little bit more money. And Tristan Keys just so happens to be an Adidas athlete. Maybe I'll go into that a little bit more later in the week. Are you happy that UT is switching to Adidas? Let me know by giving me a yes or a no in the comment section down below. I'm a little bit mixed, but I want to see where Vol Nation sits. So answer that question for me down below in the comments. All right, last, before we get out of here, we got to wrap up with some Mama Boo drama. Yet again, we heard from her on Facebook. What an interesting up and down world we live in right now, where some of the biggest rumors we have off the field talk about have to do with a player's mom. So we all know what happened with Boo Carter over the last couple of weeks, last couple of months. Was not showing up to workouts. Leadership Council was upset with him. People thought he might transfer. He ended up showing up, right? Now he had a de facto suspension. That's over. He's back with the team. Things seem smooth, right? Everybody's excited about 2026. Well, his mom got back on Facebook, and she started saying, bro, Deion got 8 players drafted in 2025. WTF. Legendary. All from one team. Then she replied to that own Facebook post, never been a Vol fan, bruh. I'm a Boo fan. Which, that is your child. That's your prerogative to be a fan of your son. And then she replied to other people at Andy Scott. They won games, LOL, WTH, the Vols win. Mind you, she's talking about the team that her son plays for. Then she responded to another guy. Wow, he goated. Talk about Kirby Smart. Deion just started, though, and I don't give a damn about them either. LOL. Might just be rooting for the Dogs this year. For Georgia? And then this was in response to the Chris Brazell arrest that happened on Sunday, saying, but if it was Boo, it would be all over social media. Okay. Like, I don't even know really what to say about this. It's just an unfortunate and weird situation that this has all turned into. You can be all about your son and his success. sure most parents are. All good parents want their children to succeed. But you don't have to tear down the affiliation or university or company or wherever is helping them succeed. I'm not asking Boo Carter's mom to be all decked out in orange and white every day. What I am asking is for her not to go on social media and trash talk her son's team he plays for. I don't know what's going to happen with Boo Carter. Nobody does. But if I had to bet if he is a Vol in 2026 or not, I'm not going to lie to you, I'd probably be leaning more towards not. Again, I told you earlier, make sure you got me on social media. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram at JoeyPeterson8. On both those platforms. More than anything, though, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel for daily updates on your Tennessee Volunteers.